Hi, in today's video, we're going to be learning about the three steps you can take in order to get healthy personal finance habits. But before we start, I thought I'd introduce myself if we've met before. My name is Sharon Sidhu, and I'm a certified financial education instructor and leadership trainer. So I facilitate leadership workshops in my corporate role, and I also own my training company where I teach women how to live a well-rounded financial life through healthy financial habits, sound financial basics, and getting some transformational financial beliefs. And before we start, I thought I'd introduce you to my favorite coffee, which is Ross Bright. Ross Bright's Coffee. He started a coffee company. He's the Roast Master and has been the Roast Master of Spinelli's for the last 18 years. And this year he started out his own company, which is called Bright Coffee. So if you live in Singapore, Ross even delivers his freshly roasted coffee to you. But otherwise, my husband and I met Ross when we started up our cafe a few years ago, and we really love his coffee. So I'm not getting any commission here, but just a quick introduction. If you're starting your morning here as early as I am, if you're in Singapore and Hong Kong time, and if not, if you're listening to us from a different time zone, good evening. If you're listening to us from Eastern Standard Time. So now let's get back to the topic for today, which is about getting what are the three steps you can take to get healthier personal finance habits. But before we get there, let me just ask, what's the first thing you think about when I ask you about your thoughts about, money or finance? Well, the most common comments I typically get when I talk to women about this is that they'll say, "Oh, I'm just no good with money. I'm just no good with numbers," and or they'll say things like, "Oh, I leave all that financial stuff to my husband." Or maybe they'll think it's full of financial jargon, it's really hard to understand. Well, what if I told you that personal finance actually isn't all that complicated and you don't even really need to be very good with numbers because there are just so many online calculators now that you probably never really need to be good at numbers. All you need to be able to do is to understand the concepts and be able to enter in the numbers, and some online calculator will be able to provide and calculate that number for you. So the thing is, if you're interested to find out how you can take the first steps to be better at your financial habits, then click yes in the comments below. Or even during the course of this broadcast, this Facebook Live broadcast, do feel free to share your comments, because I will be, reading those comments and also responding to those comments even after the broadcast. And if you're watching it with a friend, please tag your friend and as you're watching this broadcast, and if you're enjoying this broadcast. So let me first ask, what does it mean to have good personal financial habits anyway? I mean, what does good personal finance habits even mean? Well, the first thing is, yes, getting more financial knowledge is important, but I would say that just getting more financial content and knowledge and information is not enough. Because if you want to be good with your financial habits, as the word suggests, it's really about your habits. And habits are just a set of consistent actions that you take over time. Yeah. And in order to get those habits, you need to take consistent action. And in order to take consistent actions, you need to set up a system and create your environment so that you can continue with those consistent actions, even on days when you don't feel motivated or you don't feel like you're disciplined enough to do it. It is about creating those systems around your financial life that help you to succeed even when you're feeling lousy for that day, or feeling a little bit unmotivated, or feel like you lack willpower. Because in order to have these healthy habits and take consistent action, we cannot just rely on willpower and motivation alone, because we know these things dip. There are certain days where those things will wane and you will just not be able to find the motivation to do it. So it is about creating those systems. It is about creating the environment so that you set yourself up to succeed. Yeah. And so what then are the three actions that women can take during, this period or any time actually during, I mean, not just during this period, during the pandemic when a lot of us may be facing financial uncertainties, worries and fears, or maybe even job loss. How do you set yourself up for uh, financial success in the future? Well, there are three things you can do to start if you have not, really thought about this or started. The first is to first of all identify what your financial goals are. If you're not even clear about what those financial goals are, then it doesn't, how are you going to work towards that goal? Goals are like that. They give us direction. They give our actions direction and they give us purpose. So, what is your financial goal in the first place? Is it to pay off debt? Is it to save up for your retirement? Is it to, have enough set aside for your child's education? So we need to be clear about what those goals are, and we need to identify that financial goal that we have. Then, the second thing to do is to know why those financial goals are important and meaningful to you. Everyone's financial goals are a little bit different, and it means different things to different people, right? So will being able to pay off your debt bring you a sense of freedom or relief, or maybe being able to um, provide for your child's education? Does that make you feel like you're a good parent for giving them the best that you can? Or maybe it's just that you don't want to be a burden to your kids when you're older, and saving up for those bills, medical bills, or a cost of living will help you be independent. Will that help you make you feel independent? So be very clear about why those financial goals that you have identified is important and meaningful to you. Then the third thing is to define the one next action step that you're going to take in order to get you closer to your financial goal. So this action step does not have to be something big or dramatic. It is actually the smaller and the simpler, the better. See, most of us feel like when we want to get our financial lives in order, there's a very overwhelming feeling because it just feels like there's so much to do. We don't know where to start. So maybe it could be just a simple thing like making a call to your credit card company to ask what your outstanding loan balance is. Or maybe it is just to call your mobile phone provider to see if there's a better rate that you can get. We want to keep these action steps really, really simple. You know, uh, in order to make starting easy. And then we can build on it over time. And it could be something even as simple as just simply setting up an automatic transfer. If you've identified your financial goal to be to set aside a certain amount of emergency savings every month, it could be as simple as just setting up a monthly deduction for you to deduct, a certain amount of money every month. So we want to keep that next step very simple, very tiny, very easy to do so that it's easy for you to start. And once you start, you can then build on that. And once you've done those three things, which is to identify your financial goal, to state why it is meaningful and important to you, and to identify the next action step you need to take in order to get you closer to that goal, then you'll want to write it down. So why do we write things down? It is really to help us to remember it, because the act of writing it down, first of all, when you think about the goal that you want to achieve, that is kind of the first time you're generating the thought. And when you write it down, you're kind of regenerating that image in your mind, and that helps you to store it in your long-term memory, and helps you to remember it. It helps you to keep your financial goal very front of your mind. So I always encourage writing it down. And so I've even got a worksheet that you can download, and the link will be on the comment section below. So download that worksheet and you can write down those 3 points that I've just talked about. And as you achieve those goals, your goals can change, and as you achieve them, you can move on to the next goal. So you can keep kind of a record of that. So you'll have that worksheet that you can download and use for your different financial goals. So that's all I have to share. I'm trying to keep my Facebook Lives short. And let me know in the comments if you like this. If you enjoyed it, please do feel free to share it with your friends. Like the Facebook page. Definitely download the worksheet. And I'll be running these, very short 10-15 minute Facebook live sessions every Sunday for the month of May, and I'll be exploring different topics every week. So do sign up also on our website so that you can be notified of the Facebook live events prior to it happening. So before Sunday, you'll get a notification and on what the next topic is. So I hope you like this. I hope you found it useful, and I will talk to you again the next week. And do feel free to share your comments, give me your feedback, timing, what other topics you'd like to hear, what you would like me to talk a little bit more about. And I'd be very happy to, improve on the subsequent Facebook Lives. All right, have a good day. Bye now.